ये क्या करूँ मैं? इस मॉडल का क्या करूँ मैं? कुछ तो सब्स्टिट्यूट होगा इसका। सच पुण्य वाला मजा आता है। तो कितना गया? तो कितना तो देख यार कौन है? अरे पकड़ के रखो।
Hi everyone, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So we can start the session now. I'm sharing my screen, then we can start. Just give me 1 minute. So we can start now. I'm sharing my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Gatti vartuna.
Okay.
Gatti
Good.
vartuna. Acha.
So before I start, let me know if you have any doubt, any question from the previous one.
No, sir.
No? Okay. So let me sign in into the portal. Yes, Venkat, you want to ask something?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes, tell me.
मैक को लो इंस्टेंस कैसे रन करेंगे सर, ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है सर.
Mac OS instance.
हाँ.
You need to install that. Then in order to access it, you would need the Mac connector. You cannot access that into the putty or the serial console directly. So you would need the Mac agent. So I will give you that link. You can download that application in your system. Then you can connect with the Mac, because Mac does not work with our non-Windows, like non-Mac platforms. Like if you have non-Apple platform, then you need to download one of the agent in order to access the Mac. If you are using the Mac laptop, then you can directly access the Mac server versions of the AWS. But in case you are using any other laptops or any other hardware, suppose you are using HP or Dell, then you would require one of the agent. So you can download that agent, then you can establish a connectivity with the Mac. I will give you that link. You can download it. Okay.
सर हाँ एक्चुअली सर विंडोज में हम लोग का वो रिमोट डेस्कटॉप का फाइल आता है ना सर, वो उसका थ्रू ही तो कनेक्ट हो रहे, बट मेरा एप्पल लैपटॉप में ना उसको वो ऐसा वो आ नहीं रहा सर.
Which laptop you have?
मैक है सर. मैक
You have Mac. Which version?
ये 2014 ईयरली सर.
2014. Okay. So in Mac you are trying to run Windows, right?
हाँ यस सर.
Okay, you would need the agent, then it will not work. The PPK that you will download from the AWS, that will not work. So you would need the agent. Like that is Windows. If you want to use it on Mac, you need the agent. If you have another Apple, like if you have any other hardware device and you want to use Mac over there, then again you would need the agent.
Okay.
I will give you that link. You can download that software and you can connect. Then you will not face any problem. Okay.
सर और एक डाउट सर, हम लोग को ये EC2 में वो इंस्टेंस क्रिएट करते हैं ना सर थ्रू वो VPC कनेक्ट करके, तब हम लोग रिमोट डेस्कटॉप कैसे लेते हैं?
किसका
रिमोट कैसे कनेक्ट कर लेते हैं? मेरा स्क्रीन प्रेजेंट
means I did not understand your question.
हम लोग EC2 में जाके इंस्टेंस क्रिएट करते हैं ना सर, उस टाइम हम लोग जब नेटवर्क में VPC सेलेक्ट करते हैं तो वहाँ पे पब्लिक IP नहीं आते ना सर, वो तो भी वर्चुअल वो आते हैं.
No. Public IP automatically comes. Public IP comes. If you will create the EC2, then public IP will automatically attach with the EC2. See, public IP and VPC both are different resource. VPC is different and public IP is a different resource. Like if you will create the VPC, so it will not attach the public IP with it, but during the creation of EC2 instance, it is up to you whether you want to add public IP or not. Through VPC, you do the communication. Like VPC is like a network resource. It's like a network adapter, you can say, and it helps you for the connectivity. In case you want to connect with any other EC2 instance or any other storage account, or you have any other database server, that time VPC will help you to establish the connectivity. But if you have one of the you can say internet communication. Suppose you have a communication that you want to do between different region, or you want to access one of the EC2 instance from a different location from your personal laptop. Suppose I have a EC2 instance which is there in East US. This is my EC2 instance number 1. Now you want to access this EC2 instance from your personal laptop. That's what we do. We create the servers on the AWS portal. Then we access it on the device, on our desktop or on our laptops. Now our desktop and laptops are available in a different location. We are using our laptops from India. We have the server available in the East US. So that's the internet communication. That's the global communication. And for that, we need the public IP. So public IP will give you one of the unique identification over the internet so that you can access your EC2 from a different region. That's the reason it is required. So it is a different thing. It does not come automatically with the VPC. It is a separate resource. If you want to add this one, you can. Otherwise, if you want to skip the public IP, you can. But without public IP, you cannot access your EC2 instance. Then there are another options that you can try. If you don't want to use public IP, then you can try the load balancer. I will show you this practical in the next session. So you can try load balancer. Then you can define some of the firewall rule. Through firewall rule also, you can access the EC2 instance without having any public IP. Then we have one more concept, Bastion. This practical also I will show you, Bastion. So through Bastion also we can access the EC2 instance without having any public IP. So these things you can try if you want to access, even through VPN also. If you have set up the VPN site-to-site connectivity or point-to-site connectivity, then again you don't require any public IP. So these 4 practicals we have to see. But by default, if you don't have these kind of setup, if you don't have these load balancer, firewall, Bastion or VPN setup, then you would need the public IP. So AWS is charging you separately for the public IP. If you are using one public IP, you will have to give the charge accordingly. So it is not related to the VPN. It does not have any relationship with the VPC. VPC is for your connectivity among different resources. But in case if they are available in a different region, then you would need the public IP. So VPC, you can assume VPC is like your network adapter. It's like your NIC card. Understood?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any further questions?
No, sir.
Just give me 1 second. Anyone have any doubt, any questions?
No, sir. No, no.
So we can start then. So in the last session, we have covered our EBS part. I think all of you have got the notes, right? I have shared the notes
Yes,
along
sir.
with the video.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So notes have been uploaded there.
Yeah.
And in the next weekend, I will also upload some important interview
Yes, sir.
questions till the topic that we have covered so far. Like whatever topics we have covered so far, I am going to upload some interview related questions as well. So you can go through with those questions, and in case you will have any doubt, you can discuss with me next weekend. On next Saturday, you can discuss with me. I will answer it. So from now onwards, whatever topic we have covered, I will upload some important interview questions till tomorrow, like till Sunday, whatever topics we will cover, I will upload some interview related questions for them. By Saturday, you can expect the question by next Saturday. But yes, by tomorrow onwards, this practice will be into the picture. The same thing we are doing with another batches as well, because most of the topics have been completed. Now we have to cover load balancer, storage, the monitoring part, the clustering part and all. So no issues. So let's start a topic. Let's start AMI. I will start a new topic, AMI. So it's Amazon Machine Image. When we talk about AMI, it's Amazon Machine Image. Now, what is this? So let me tell you. See, what we have done so far, when we want to create any server, whenever we want to create any server, we just go to the AWS portal, then we create the EC2 instances. We create the EC2 instances accordingly. Now, suppose you have a scenario, you are using one of the EC2 instance, and on that EC2 instance, you are running the web server. Your web server is running on that EC2 server, on that EC2 instance. Means what you have done, you have created one of the EC2 instance on the AWS portal, and on that EC2 instance, you are running the web server. Your website server is running on that. If you are using Linux, in the company, in order to create the web server, you need to set up Apache. Apache is the web server of Linux. You can set up Tomcat. So company can either use Apache or they can also use Tomcat in order to set up the website server in the Linux platform. But if the company is using the Windows, if you are using the Windows platform, so if you have the Windows platform, so in Windows platform, the web server name will be IIS, Internet Information Services. So it depends upon company to company what platform they want to use on EC2. If they are using Linux, whatever flavor of Linux they are using, they will be using Apache, Tomcat. If they are using the Windows Server platform, not Linux, then the server name will be IIS. So as we all know that what is the use of web server? Web server is used to host the website. If company have any website, so in order to run the website, we need the web server in the company. So they will be running their website on the web server plus whatever web applications they have. Web application means, suppose they have some applications which is running, which is accessible from the internet. That is called web application. Just like our ticketing tool, we can access our ticketing tool from the internet URL. So that is a web application. We can access our VDI from the URL of internet. That is again one of the web application example. So whatever web applications we have, plus whatever websites we have for the company, in order to host it, company use the web server. They will have the web server platform. Now it is up to company what server they want to use. Either they want to go with the Windows platform or they can run the services on the Linux. So what we are doing typically nowadays, so far we create the EC2 on the AWS platform. We install the operating systems over there. We run the operating system. Either it can be Linux, either it can be Windows. Now, whatever server we want to create inside the EC2, we run that service. If we want to create the Windows IIS server, we will use that. If we want to create the web server of Linux, we will use that service. So suppose you have one of the EC2 instance running on the AWS. That EC2 instance is running the web server. And suppose that web server is on Windows platform. On that web server, you have some softwares running. You have some softwares. You have installed some of the company customized softwares. You are running that. On the same web server, you are running your websites. The company websites are hosted on the web server. Now what happens? There is an option which is called AMI, Amazon Machine Image. What is this option all about? Through this option, you can create the capture. You can create the capture of image. Means you are running one of the EC2 instance on the AWS platform. On that EC2, as I told you, you are running the web server. And suppose you are running the web server on the Windows platform. Your softwares are installed there, your applications are working, your server services are working there. Now you want to create the exact replica, the exact copy of that particular server. You want to create the copy, the duplicate of the same server. So in order to create the duplicate, what you do, you will create another EC2 instance. On the another EC2 instance, again, you will have to run the operating system. So you will install Windows again. Then you will set up IIS server. Then you need to host the application. You need to host the website over there. So that's a time consuming task. That is a time consuming task. So suppose you have multiple requirement. You have the requirement of around 20 web servers. You have the requirement of 20 web servers. So in order to save the time, what you have done, you have created the capture of image. Capture of image means the EC2 instance that you are already running on the AWS platform, you can create the exact duplicate copy of that. You can create the capture of that. So whatever is the current condition of that particular EC2, that will become the duplicate of that. If I am running a particular window, on that window I am running IIS server. On that IIS server, I am hosting my website and I have installed some applications as well. So it is going to create the exact duplicate copy of that. The exact replica will be created. That replica, that copy is known as Amazon Machine Image, the AMI. That's called Amazon Machine Image. So it is used in the company. In the company, you will use it a lot. They will have the AMI images. They will create the replicas of the customize, they will create the EC2 instances with that. So it will help them to save the time. It will help them to save the time, plus it will also help them to save the cost. You don't need to buy multiple licenses of the software. You will create the exact running condition, the exact running duplicate copy of that software, and you can run it on another EC2 instances. So if you have any customized requirement in the company, if you have any custom requirement that I want to do the customization of my image, I want to run these services, so you can go with the AMI option. Suppose your company have the customized requirement that whatever EC2 server you create, on that server, it should automatically install the IIS. It should automatically install the softwares. So if you have any customized requirement in the company, so for that purpose, you can create the capture of images, which is called Amazon Machine Image, the AMI. Any questions, any doubts? Any
No,
doubt?
clear.
So
please
which one? Are you saying something?
Yes, sir. I'm just saying that please repeat the concept in shortly.
Yeah, sure. See, I was talking about a new concept which is called AMI, Amazon Machine Image. Now, what is this AMI? So through AMI, what you can do, you can create the capture of image. Capture of image means whatever EC2 you are running on the AWS platform. Suppose you are running one of the EC2. On that EC2, you have installed window. On that window, you are running the server, the web server IIS. Plus, you have installed some additional softwares as well. Now your requirement is that the same server that you are running on EC2 number 1, you want to create multiple duplicate copies of this. You want to create the exact duplicate copies of these servers. So for that purpose, what you can do, you can create the capture. You can create the duplicate image of this particular Amazon, this particular EC2. So whatever is the current condition of that EC2, whatever image is running there, whatever services are running there, it will automatically capture it and it will create the duplicate image. That's called AMI. So through that duplicate image, what you can do, you can create another EC2s. You can create another servers, and the same service which was running on EC2 number 1, the same service will be running on the EC2 because you have created the duplicate capture, the duplicate image. Now understood?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So you can use the same image, you can use the same AMI to create multiple EC2 instances. If you have created one AMI, then you can create hundreds of EC2 instances with that. So company uses this customized image a lot. This is called customized image concept. So this is used a lot in the companies. Companies are preferring this one. Now let's see how to do that. Let's see the practical. Practical is very easy actually. Let's go to the portal. So we are in the portal. Now what we need to do, in order to create the capture of something, in order to create the AMI, we need to create one of the EC2 first. If we don't have any EC2, then how we can create the capture? So we should have one of the server running. So let's create one of the server. So you need to go to the instances now. See, currently I don't have any instance available. So let's click on launch instance. Here I am giving one of the name production 01, prod 01, and image. Suppose I want to use Windows, and I will be using this free tier image. I will select t2.micro. Key pair, let me create a new one. So I will create capture. The name I will give capture. Now create key pair. Firewall security rule, I will go with the default one. Network settings I have to enter because no network settings are coming here. So let's click on edit. And here I need to give my VPC. So see, there is no VPC because I have deleted that. In the last session, I have deleted the VPC. So let's create a new subnet. In order to save the cost, I have deleted the VPC. So create VPC ID. I will give VPC01. That's the name. You already know about VPC. What happened? Let me create one VPC first. It is not taking it. So VPC. Create VPC. Then VPC only. VPC name I am giving VPC01. CIDR 10.0.0/24. Then rest of the thing I will keep default. So create VPC. It has been created now. I have the subnet as well. It's in process. It will reflect after a few minutes. So I have the VPC available now. So let me go to the section and let me create the EC2 instance now. So name prod01, Windows. Key pair I have already created. So I will go with the capture. Capture I have created. So I will go with this one. Instance type I have t2.micro. VPC I am going to use this one that I have created. Rest of the settings I will keep as it is. I will not do any further changes here. I don't want to add any new partition, new volume. I've already discussed this particular section in the last one. EVS volumes. Rest of the things will be as it is. Now launch instance. What happened? Okay, VPC subnet is not there. We did not create the subnet, I guess. Let me check.
Yeah.
VPC 01 10.0.0.04. Okay, it was not created. So this is my VPC ID. This is the subnet that I want to use. I will give name S1. No availability zone. CIDR block, I will use the same class 24. That's my subnet range. And tag I don't want to use. Create subnet. Now let me refresh it again. This is a problem. Whenever we refresh, all the settings will be wiped out. T2.micro already selected. Key pair, the capture, rest of the things. Subnet has come. VPC has been selected. Rest of the settings will be as it is, launch instance. So I have one of the EC2 running now. I can see in the EC2 instance section. So it's in the process. So let's wait for few seconds, then it will be created. Then we can proceed further.
Sir, when our AWS will be completed?
Which one? AWS.
Yes, sir. AWS.
AWS will be completed by July. Then we will have 4 to 5 sessions for Terraform. So in the mid of August, this complete things will be ended in the second week of August.
And sir, for placement,
Placement, they will initiate it from August.
okay.
Okay. Once we are in the stage of Terraform, then we can start it.
Okay.
So it's in running state now. Let's see whether we are able to access it or not. So let's click on the instance ID. So who was asking me the question in the initial session? I think Saf. So Saf, you might have noticed that when I was creating the VPC, I did not attach any public IP, if you have noticed that. So that proves that public IP is a separate resource and VPC is a different thing. But yes, here you can see there is a public IP. The public IP has come because during the creation of EC2 instance, the public IP will get added. Let's see if it is added or not. It will take some time, then it reflect here. Now let's see if we are able to connect to the EC2 instance or not, so that we can go with the AMI option. So let's click on connect. RDP client, download remote desktop file. Now we would need the password. So let's click on the get password option. We have the key available. So upload private key. This option you know very well. We have the key as capture.pem. This is our private key. Let's decrypt the password. Now the password we have. So this is the password. Let me copy it in the notepad so that we can use it further. So this is the password. Now let me open this RDP. Let's click on connect. Oh, wait. It will not connect. We are trying to connect with the private IP. We need the public IP. Let's see if public IP has come or not. Because we are in a different network, I am trying to access it from the India public IP, and the instance is created in North Virginia. So it will not work. Two by two US East 1D elastic IP. Okay, we need the IP now. No issues. Public IP has not come yet. So let me add one of the public IP here. Although it should have come automatically, I don't know why it is not coming. Maybe there is some refresh issue. Because we never add any public IP, it comes automatically. or might be we have not selected the option during the creation. Let me stop this one. Because if we will attach any other public IP, so that will act as an elastic public IP. And you know the concept of elastic public IP, that is costlier than this one. So automatic public IP should come. So let me terminate this one. There is some problem with this one, I guess. Let me create one more. So development 01, the name I am giving here, and Windows instance. Network settings, it has already taken. Rest of the things will be as it is. In the advanced details, everything is okay. Elastic GPU, everything is okay here. User data option is also good. There is one option. Where is that option?
So you need to click on edit.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, you need to disable.
this one is disabled. So auto assign public IP is disabled because I am using my own VPC. If I am going with the default VPC option, that I have deleted actually because it was costing me. I have got the bill from the AWS of 8 rupees that I am going to pay before 30th of June. So this one should be enabled, auto assign public IP. If you will keep it disabled, then it will not get any public IP. But by default, if you are using the default VPC, then it is enabled by default. But if you are using your own customized VPC for the EC2, then you will have to keep it enabled. So I'm enabling it because I don't want to use any elastic public IP, because elastic public IP is the static one. And for a static one, you will have to bear the cost. So key pair, I will select the same one, the capture, launch. So it has been launched now. Let's wait for some time. It's in pending state.
Sir, I think this is custom VPC, so you will also need to attach the internet gateway.
The internet gateway should not be required.
Okay.
Internet gateway have a different concept. I have to discuss about this internet gateway, the default gateway option, the net gateway option, the peering. Peering I have not discussed. I will do that, cover this one in the next weekend. We have Saturday, Sunday, so we will cover it. Then I will touch this load balancing part, because before load balancing and firewall, you should have the understanding of peering and all. So I will do that first, then I will go with the load balancing and all. Let's see. Password, get password. Oh. Let's wait then. Meanwhile, it is under process. Let me show you how we can proceed with the AMI option. See, whatever EC2 you are running, suppose this is my EC2 instance and I am running here Windows operating system. So I want to take the capture of it. Suppose some applications are installed here, some services are running here, and I want to get the capture of it. So it's very simple. You will just right click on the EC2 instance. Then you need to go to the imaging option. See, images and template. And here you have the option of create image. So whatever is the current condition of this EC2 instance, it is going to create one of the image. So just click on it, create image. Then you have to enter the name of the image. Whatever name you want to give, just give it. So for testing purpose, I am giving the name as I1, image number 1. Description, if you want to give, you can, otherwise it's optional. In company, you will have to enter the description. They will have the description like this image is for prod, for UAT testing, this image is for rollout. So they will give you the description, you will have to add it accordingly. Then whatever should be the size, what should be the size of your EBS? EBS means the current one. In the current image, it has the 30 GB of partition. It has 30 GB of EBS volume attached. That's called C drive. So if you want to change it, or if you want to add further volumes as well, you can do it. If you want to keep it default, you can go with the default 30 GB option as well. So in the current state, it is showing you that you have one of the volume attached with this image, which is of 30 GB of size, and it's EBS volume. So in case you want to modify it, you can want to add one more volume along with this image, you can do so. Because this storage, this volume is a different resource. That's the reason you have got the option to change it, because it's not part of the EC2, it's a separate resource. You can create the volume separately as well. Even the last session I have told you, if you will go to the EC2 option, in the EC2 option, you will get this option, see volume. So volume is a different thing. You can create the volume already, and in later you can attach it to the EC2 instance. It's up to you. In advance, you can create some volumes. And once you have the EC2 available in future, you can attach to it. That's what we have done in the last session. So currently I have one volume. This volume is this one, which is attached to my EC2 instance. So whatever volumes I will have, it will show here. Now I will go with the default setting. Whatever is the current state, I want to go with it. So just click on create image. Oh, name. It will not accept this name. Let me give then image 1. Image 01. Create. Now see, it's in the process. And there will be one of the AMI ID. See, because we are creating the Amazon machine image. So there will be one of the AMI ID as well. Now, if you will go to the AMI in the left side, if you will go to the AMI, then here it will reflect. See, you can see the AMI ID and the image name I have put in image 01. And this is the source. Source means from where I have got this image. So I have got this image from this source. This is the ID of my EC2 instance. So who is the owner? So owner is also same. Means my EC2 instance number 1, the ID of that EC2 instance is the owner of it, and it is privately visible. It's on Windows platform. It got created on this particular time, and it's in pending status. So it will take 1 or 2 minutes, then it will be created. And it is using EBS volume. And this is the Linux configuration. It is using /dev/sda SATA disk A, the first partition of 30B, which is in GP2, because in the earlier EC2 instance, we are using the GP2 option, GP2, general purpose V2. That's the reason it is taking the same one. Then Hyper Virtual Manager is available because in the last machine, the same configuration is there. So let's wait for 1 minute. Meanwhile, let me click on it. So once you will click on it, you would be able to see all the configuration, when it got created, what is the source, what is the architecture, what is the owner ID, and currently it's in pending state. So these are the volumes, see, block devices that is getting created along with it. So let's refresh. Still it's in process. Let's go to the EC2 now. So here you can see we have one instance running. because we have created one of the EC2 server here, and we have created the capture out of this EC2 instance image. So let it come. See, this one is in terminated state and this one is in running state, the DAP01. And if you will scroll it down from the left hand, you can see the AMI. AMI means your capture. See, the capture image is here and it's still in pending state. It will take 1 or 2 minutes, as I told you. Meanwhile, let's give it a name. So let's click on it. And for identification, I will give the name as development. Save. So it's the part of development and the image name is image01. So let's wait for a few minutes. ये कौन सी रिकॉर्डिंग आ गई? Maybe someone else is using this. Where is the Zoom? Oh, okay. Someone else is also using this Zoom. So which one I am using? Visions.Mumbai. Visions.Mumbai@gmail.com. Visions.Mumbai. Okay. It's still in pending state. It's taking a lot of time. Now we can see it's available. So we have the image available. It's working now. So let's create one of the new EC2 instance with this particular AMI, with this particular capture image. So we have the image now, we have the capture now. And in case you want to use this one in order to create the further EC2 instance, so just go to the instance option. I have one of the EC2 instance running here. So in order to create a new, just click on launch instance, the same option, launch instance. Here you will have to put one of the names. So I'm giving the name as test01. And here you can see what we were doing earlier. We were using this option. This option is called AWS Marketplace. This is called AWS Marketplace. Means through AWS Marketplace, we were taking the ready-made image. These all are the ready-made image available on the AWS platform. And these all are the original one. These all are the licensed one. AWS is charging us for this, the cost of this particular images. So earlier we were using this ready-made image from the AWS Marketplace option. Now what I want to use my AMI. I have the AMI now. I want to use it. I don't want to go with the marketplace image. So I will go to my AMI option and I have the image available here. See, here you can see I have the AMI with the name of image01. I have created this image01 here and this is my AMI ID. So automatically it has fetched the details. Now in which instance you want to use this particular AMI ID, you need to select it. What hardware size you want to take for the AWS machine. So by default, it is taking T2.micro. In case to change it, you can. This can be your interview question, that when you use the AMI image, so do you have the feasibility to change the instance type, to change the key pair, to change the volume? So yes, you have, because you are just using the operating system capture. But EC2 instance can have the different hardware configuration based on your load requirement. So that's the option. You have the option to change it. See, you have the option to change your EC2 instance type. Whatever you would like to take, if you want to increase it, you can. If you want to decrease it, you can. But the image state will be same. So here I am also using the same EC2 instance type. I will be using T2.micro. Key pair, in case you want to create another one, you can. If you want to use the same one, again, you can. So I will use the same one, capture. Network setting also, see, you can edit it. In the next EC2 instance, if you want to put it in a different network, if you want to put it in a different VPC, then you have the option available. You can. Because VPC is also a different resource, so it's not part of the image. If the same network will be captured with all the images, then there will be network conflict. If the same network, whatever is the network state of this current AMI, if I will capture it and if I will create a new EC2 instance out of it, so there can be chances of conflict, because it will also have the same IP address. The new EC2 instance will get the same IP, the same public state, the same subnet ID and all. That's the reason you will have the flexibility to change it. So anytime if you want to keep it in a different network, you can. I will be using the same VPC, but it will get a new IP because I have a subnet. In the subnet, I have the range of 10.0.0.0/24. So I have a lot of addresses. So it will get another address from this same subnet range. In case you want to create new, you can. If you want to modify security group, you can. If you want to modify any storage type, you can. If you want to increase the size of this volume, you can. So you have this feasibility, and this can be part of your interview question as well. Interviewer may judge you that if you have really worked on the AMI images or not, because in the real production, AMI images will be used with the VDI. All the VDIs will be created with the AMI images. So you should know the practical concept of it. So rest of the things I will keep as it is. If in company they want to change it, then they will give you the requirement on the data collection form. Whatever they want to change it, whatever requirement they have, you can have that. So just click on launch instance.
Sir, AMI
Now-
only. Sir, AMI only copies the software layer.
Yeah, it will not only software, it will copy the state. State means suppose you are running any service. Suppose you are using Linux, and on the Linux you are using the HTTPD service. So if you will create the AMI, so it will capture the current state of that. Whatever servers you were running on that, whatever applications were installed, so it will take that. Not only the software, it will also take the services snapshot as well. So in the current state, everything will be included, but network things will not be included because network VPC is a different resource. Storage will not be included because that's also a different resource. Volumes will not be included. That's also a different resource. But whatever you have done with the operating system, whatever application you have installed, whatever host name you have given, so all the things will come automatically. Understood?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So now the launch has been initiated. So let's see. Let's go to the EC2 instance. See, it's in the running state. It's initializing. It's checking whether all the checks have been passed or not. It's created in the US East 1D availability zone. In case you want to change it, you can also do that. See, rest of the settings will remain same. If I had done any configuration inside this, then the same image would have captured. So you can try this once you will do the practical. Do one thing. I have not shown you the server services yet, but do one thing. Just create one of the EC2 instance, access it, create some notepad files in the volume, attach a secondary volume, create some notepad files, or do anything like create any paint, create any work, then do the capture. Once you will create the AMI, then in the next EC2 creation with the same EMI, you will see those settings. So it has captured the current state of dev 01, and new VM, new EC2 has been created out of it. So whatever was the condition of it, if any service was running inside this, that could have got captured inside this new one. So I can use the same AMI in order to create multiple EC2 instances. See, it's still available. The developer image is still available. So I can use it. So you can do this one. You can create one of the EC2 instance, then try to create some of the notepad files inside the EC2, then take the capture, then use that EC2 image in order to create another EC2. Then you will see the same configuration on the new EC2 instance. Now, so this has been created. This was very easy practical actually, but yes, the concept is very important for the interview perspective because you will be doing this one. The custom image company uses a lot, whether it's Azure environment, whether it is AWS environment, they use the custom image a lot because it saves the time and it saves the money for the company. Now the company will not have to pay for multiple licenses of operating system, of application. That's the reason they use it a lot. So you should have the practical hands-on, but the practical is also very easy. You just need to right click on it and you can create the image. So you need to go to the instance option, then select the EC2, right click and create the image. See, that's it. It was very simple. Now, let me delete this one. Let me delete everything. It's not required. Action and terminate. So it's in the termination state. Let's go to the word meanwhile. We have one concept that we have started, auto scaling group. Auto scaling group. This is also one of the new concept, the ASG. What is ASG all about? We have already discussed this theory earlier, but let me give you the overview again. Suppose you have one of the EC2 instance running on the AWS, and on that EC2 instance, you are running the web server. Your web server is running over there. And suppose this is the example of Amazon website. In order to understand it, let's assume that this is an example of Amazon site. Now, what happens? Because we cannot assume that what can be the traffic on our website. Our website is running on one of the EC2 instance. It's on the web server. Today, I have 10,000 users. It is working fine. This server, this EC2 is capable to process the users. They are getting the websites. They are able to do the shopping without any downtime, without any problem. So these 10,000 users are regularly coming to the Amazon website. They are doing the shopping. They are doing everything without having any problem. But if the load will get increased, suppose one fine day, the load is around 40,000. So the capability of the server depends upon the hardware configuration. Whatever is your hardware state, that would be the capability. Your server will act accordingly. So what happens if I have selected T2.micro, so I will be getting 1 core of CPU, 1 GB of RAM only. So that is not enough to handle the high level of users. So if the load may get increased, my EC2 instance will not be able to process that. And that will become the downtime scenario. Users will not get the Amazon website. That will be the downtime scenario. Users will get frustrated and I will lose a lot of business. There will be a lot of revenue loss because of it. So what company does, company, if they are on cloud, on every cloud, we have the advantage. We have the scalability option. Whatever cloud companies are using, we have the scalability option out of it. Either we are using AWS, in AWS, we have ASG, Auto Scaling Group. If we are using Azure, then we have VMSS, Virtual Machine Scale Set. And in what is called Google Cloud, in GPC, you will get the option of scalability groups, SG. So in every cloud, we have the scalability option. What is scalability option? Scalability option means if we have a high load on the server, whatever server we are running, suppose we are running EC2 instance on AWS. Let's take an example of AWS. So whatever server we are running, if there is a high traffic coming, if there is a high load on that particular server, then automatically it should increase the number of servers, increase the number of instances. If the load is very high, automatically it should create the copies of these EC2 instances and it should process the users. It should give the Amazon processing page to the users without any downtime. If the load gets decreased, suppose after 1 day, my load has been decreased. Now I don't need more servers. Earlier I was on EC2 server. Because of the load, 5 copies of the same server got created. Because there was a huge load on my current server. So what ASG has done, what Auto Scaling Group has done, it has created 5 additional copies of the same EC2 instance. But after 1 day, my user base has been decreased. I don't need these copies now, because if I will keep it running, then I will have to pay to the AWS. AWS will charge me that you are using 6 copies of the server total, 5 copies plus 1 main server. So I don't want to use it now. So what I want to use, I want to define the scalability. What is scalability terms? Scalability means as per the requirement, as per the load. If we have the high load requirement, then automatically the server should get increased. The copies of the same running server should be created. If my load get decreased, then automatically the copies of the server should get decreased. That is called scalability. And that scalability option in the AWS is known as ASG, Auto Scaling Group. So we have 2 kinds of scalability. That's called scale up and scale down. These are the scalability types. In Auto Scaling Group, in ASG of AWS, we have 2 types, scale up and scale down. What is a scale up? Scale up means increase the numbers of EC2. Means if there is a high load on the EC2 instance, on the current EC2, so automatically increase the numbers of EC2. Increase the numbers, create the copies of server. What is the scale down? So after some period of time, if the load get decreased, then automatically it should decrease the number of EC2 instance. So decrease it. So scale up means increase the number of EC2 instances. Scale down means decrease the number of EC2 instances as per the load. If the load is high, increase the copies. If the load has been decreased, decrease the copies. Just eliminate, just terminate all the EC2 instances which are currently running. So that's called scale up and scale down. Now, when we talk about scaling, as I already told you what is scaling. So scaling means increase or decrease the number of servers as per the requirement. So when we talk about scaling option, These are the types of scaling, scale up and scale down, like increase or decrease. But when we talk about the advanced technical concept, if we will go to the advanced technical option, then we will have another two types, which is called vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. So what is vertical scaling actually? In vertical scaling, what will happen? Suppose this is my EC2 instance. I have a EC2 instance running. It has 4 GB of RAM. Currently, it has 4 GB of RAM and 4 CPU. It has this configuration at this moment. Now what happens? The load on my server, the user load on my EC2 instance is increasing. So what is vertical scaling? Vertical scaling means it will not create multiple copies of the EC2 now. It will not create it. When we talk about the auto scaling group, in the auto scaling group, we have two conditions, the vertical scaling and the horizontal scaling. If we have set up the vertical scaling option, in the vertical scaling, it will not create multiple copies of the server. It will not do it. Then what it will do? If the user load is increasing, then whatever is the current configuration of my EC2 machine, I have 4 GB of RAM, I have 4 cores of CPU. If you increase the current configuration on the same EC2, instance, if you are increasing the current configuration, that's called vertical scaling. Means currently it is 4 GB of RAM. As per your requirement, you need 16 GB of RAM. So if you are increasing the RAM, now you are increasing the CPU cores. Now you need 8 cores of CPU. But you don't want to create the another copies of EC2. It will be on the same machine. But what you are doing, you are just increasing the configuration. That's called vertical scaling. Vertical scaling means increase the configuration of the current EC2 machine. That's vertical. So here it will not create another copies, but that's a manual process. It will not happen automatically. You will have to do it manually. Means the AWS administrator will increase or decrease the configuration state of the EC2 manually. Now comes the horizontal scaling. In the horizontal scaling, what happens? If the load on my current EC2 is increasing, then it will create another multiple copies of the EC2, depend upon my load. If the load get decreased, then it will remove the copies. It will decrease the copies of my server. And these two, scale up and scale down, these two are the types of this one, the horizontal scaling. In the horizontal scaling, it will scale up, means it will increase the number of CPUs. It will increase the number of cores, not CPU cores. It will increase the number of EC2 instances. And it will automatically decrease the number of EC2 instances when the load will get decreased. But in the vertical scaling, you will have to increase or decrease the configuration of the current EC2 manually. So this one will be dynamic in nature. So when you will create the ASG, the auto scaling group, it will increase or it will decrease the EC2 instances depending upon your load. So that's a dynamic concept. It will happen automatically. You don't have to do anything. What you need to do is you need to define the rule. You will define the rule that if my current state will increase, automatically create the number of EC2 instances. If my current state get decrease, automatically decrease the number of my EC2 instances. That's it. So this concept is used in such scenario, mostly in the production, in the real production, it is used in the web server scenario. In the web server scenario, we use it a lot because in the web server scenario, we don't know what can be the traffic condition. If there is a high load on my server, we don't know what load it can be. Tomorrow, maybe 10,000 users will visit on my website. Day after tomorrow, maybe the count will get increased, or maybe it can get decreased. So in the real production, generally they do these kind of practice with the web server, not with other. Active Directory will be only one, DHCP server is one, DNS will be one, but this, for this web server, we cannot calculate the user base. So for the real production scenario, web server will have this kind of configuration. So there is one more thing, EC2 user data. This is also one of the concept. What is EC2 user data? Whenever we create any EC2 instance on the AWS portal, whenever we create any servers, after the creation of this server, whatever services we want to run on that server, we access the server, then we create it. Suppose I want to run DHCP server. I have created one of the EC2 test01, and on this EC2, I want to run the DHCP server. So in order to run the DHCP server, I will have to access this one. Then I will have to run the DHCP server services. I will configure the pool. Then it will act as a DHCP. Now what you need is, there is a concept of EC2 user data. What is EC2 user data? During the creation of the EC2, once you are creating the EC2, here in this step, let me show you. See, during the creation of EC2, if I will scroll it down, if I will scroll it to the bottom, you can see there is an option, user data. It's optional. What is this user data? User data means when you are creating the EC2 instance, during the creation, automatically it should create some of the services. You don't want to do it later. Suppose you want that when the EC2 instance will be created, so DHCP service should automatically installed. Along with the DHCP, web server should automatically installed during the creation. So you don't want to do it after the creation. You want to predefine the things during the creation. So that's called EC2 user data. So you can define the script here. You can define some commands. If you know the script, that's very good. In your stage, you don't need to know the script, but yes, in future, you will have to learn the shell scripting, the bash scripting on the Linux as well, so that you can do the automation. Automation has a lot of money. So once you will become the L3 engineer, you will have to develop your automation skills as well. So what you can do in the user data, you can define the script that along with the creation of my EC2, it should automatically create this particular service. So it will be automatically created then. You don't have to create it manually after the server creation. So what we will do in this ASG practical, so that we can see it on the live basis, what I will do, I will create one of the user data. I will create one of the script. You don't need to know the script at this time. I will give you that ready-made script. On that script, what will happen? It will have the configuration of Apache server. Apache server is a Linux server, and it is used to create the web server. If you want to run any website on the web server, then you will have to install the Apache. Apache is the Linux web server. So I will use the Linux image. On that, I will create the Apache script, and that Apache script I will enter in the user data, so that whenever the EC2 instance will be created, Apache service will automatically get installed. So one of the website will be running on my Apache server. I will not create any website because that's not my task. We will be using the default website on this Apache. Then I will create the ASG, the auto scaling group. So according to the load, it will automatically increase the EC2. It will decrease the EC2 instances. Yes, Seth?
Sir, if we were be creating Windows server, then it will support Bash scripting, Bash script or
No. For window, it will not support bash. For window, you should know the PowerShell scripting. Okay. It will only support Linux platform. So for window also, I will show you, but in the window, it's up to you whether you want to go with the script. I can give you the script as well if you need. We will see this ASG practical in both the platform. We will see it on the Linux as well. We will see it on Windows as well. In Windows, I will create the IIS server. I will host one of the website over there. We will access that. And then we will create the auto scaling group. And on Linux, I will use the EC2 user data. I will create the Apache server over there. And one of the website will be automatically running. So I will show you this practical and this one also, the user data also. So for user data, a script would be required. You don't have to create it, as I told you. I will give it to you. I will give you 1 or 2 scripts that you can use it in your practicals. For window, if you want to use the script, then we can use the PowerShell. We need to use the PowerShell scripting, but for window, you don't need to actually. For window, we will see the manual option. For Linux, we will use the script. Even in Linux also, if you want to use it manually, I will show you manual option as well. So what we will do both the things. We will see the manual option, how to create the web server, so that we will also know how to create it. And we will also see the script option through user data. Then in window, I will show you how to run the IIS server, how to run the IIS web server. Then we will create one of the temporary web page and we will host it over this IIS. And then we will see this ASG practical along with it. Then you would be able to relate it with the real scenario. That's what we will do. I will complete this one tomorrow, not today. So today we have already passed some times. So tomorrow I will complete this ASG one and I will start a new topic tomorrow. So I will go with the VPC advance. VPC advanced means I will go with the advanced networking concept like peering practical. I have to show you the default gateway, the internet gateway option, the UDR. So that one we will discuss. So let's connect tomorrow then. I think recording was going on or not. Can you all see the recording option?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, it's going on because I don't manage the recording nowadays. That's the reason I was scared. So, okay, so let's connect tomorrow then at 9 p.m. and we will cover this one and we will see another ones. So I will upload today's video by tomorrow morning. You will get it. And notes I will upload by evening. Before our session, I will upload the notes in the same folder that we have discussed in the last one, the AWS notes folder. Okay.
Okay.
So let's connect tomorrow then. Enjoy your night. Have a good night. Bye.
Good night. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.